How are you?
I'm fine. Any doubt till now?
No, actually, no doubt, but I was able to find this. I was able to find how to make a field in this SM30 transaction mandatory.
Okay, that's good. Are
Yeah.
you
But
going to it's a screen and simply change and make it mandatory right now?
yes, in the TMG,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is this options. Yeah, there I was able
that's
to.
good. Can you please show me?
Uh, can you? Should I share or because
Yeah, yeah, please share your screen.
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hi,
Hi,
hi, Alan.
Alan.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you guys?
Good, thank you. Um, Not sure what I'm sharing now. Are you able to see the screen?
Just wait for, yeah, now it is visible.
Yeah. So, Alan, I'm just showing how you can make a field mandatory in the for a table. So this is the table
Yeah,
example.
then?
I'm going to change this. I'm going to go to utilities, table maintenance generator,
Mm-hmm.
and
You went to,
environment modification, maintenance screens.
you went to screen number then.
And then here there are these
Yeah,
attributes.
this, okay.
Sorry,
To
element
layout part.
list.
See, just wait a second. I have to explain certain thing here. This whole thing that you are seeing here now, this is a screen. You can see here screen number, right?
Mhm.
So when we discuss the concept of module pool now, there we create our own screen and you can see we have a layout button here. Just click on the layout button. When you go for the layout button, a screen will open. Just enlarge its size a little bit. Yeah. Now see, if you will click on the fields, just click on any particular field. Click on any particular field. Double click on the fields. I- Yeah, you can see in the right, we have all the properties. Okay.
Mhm.
So the whole things we discussed there, that is why I don't wanted to explain here.
Okay.
You can, if we there we may, I will explain how we manually make any fields mandatory or using these whole screens. But now, please tell me how you got this. Okay.
Mm,
Click
how
on
do I
back.
go back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
click on back. Yeah.
So under this element list, you can go to
Okay.
special,
Yeah.
and then here under these options required.
Yeah, required. The same thing is done via screen there. We make it required. Okay.
Okay.
But
And
then
also I was sorry.
there becomes one challenge, and the challenge is like when you make any field required now, then your screen is going to stuck when you are not
Mhm.
filling anything and you press enter.
Mhm.
This whole thing comes there, and it's too early to explain this thing at this moment. That is why I was little bit delaying. Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, Alan. What about you? Any doubt to you? Thank you, Mukul, for this one. Wonderful,
Yeah, no problem.
Alan.
And
Yes, for now, no doubts from my side. I was also practicing on a test system from our company because for me this remote desktop connection kept crashing. But I will have to
Okay.
try this weekend.
Oh,
Maybe my
well,
internet was too
you can
slow.
do one thing. You have
Hmm.
got your server, right? In your local PC. You can save
Hmm.
this credential on that server also. It will work perfectly fine. Okay.
Hmm.
You don't need to use you are not forced to use only the remote desktop. You can simply access this credential from your local PC also. Okay.
Okay. Hmm. Great, thanks.
All right. All right, guys. If it is no doubt, let's continue our session. Okay. So we were discussing views, right? How many types of views were there? Can anyone tell me?
Three, I think, the projection view and two others.
How many types of views? First one was, let's say, what was the first one? Database view, right?
Mhm.
Then we
Then
have projection
projection
view.
view.
And these two types of views were quite similar to each other. This guy is only responsible for a single table, but this guy, you can use it for multiple table also, right? For if you want to see the data of multiple table at the same time, we can go for database view. And if you want to project a particular table and only want to see certain fields of a table, then you can go for the projection view. Then we have maintenance one. Okay, maintenance view. This guy was responsible for maintaining maintaining data of multiple table. Again, one important step was there, that table must be related to each other. Then we have help view. What do you guys think this particular view is going to do? What do you guys think this particular view is going to do? What do you think? Can anyone tell me? This one is help, right? So this view might be responsible for providing us some help, right?
Yes.
Help view is used in search helps. You might have heard this word, search helps, or let's say F4 helps. Have
Yes.
you heard this one? Or value
Mhm.
Mm.
help? So you can use the concept of help view inside the search helps or F4 helps or value helps. They works properly here. This will become the data source which will be providing the data using which we will be able to create our F4 helps and search help. We will see in this session later on. But for now, just for the introduction purpose, this is used in search helps, F4 helps or value helps. These three are the same words, nothing different. And again, one mandatory condition, table must be related to each other. Okay, is this thing clear?
Mhm.
So let's create our maintenance view. Let's say, sorry, help view, S11. I will select this one. We will give here our help and some name on 08 to 10. Create help view, simple short description, help view. And let's pass our header table here, right? This one was our header table which we created now, employee table. Let see guys, this in this particular help view, again the same condition will be applied that was being applied in case of maintenance view. What was the problem with the maintenance view? Do you remember? What was the problem with this maintenance view? We were getting a message relationship with unsuitable cardinality, right?
Yes.
The same stuff is there. You cannot have multiple items in your item table for a single item in your header table. The same stuff is there for your help view also. If you will apply here, just see here, I'm simply clicking on relationship button and see I will get this message again, relationship with unsuitable cardinality. Okay. So later on that we created our tables, I will simply use that table here and we will be able to create our help view. Okay, simple one. See here, I got the dependent tables. Kindly select this checkbox, click on copy button. By default, the join conditions will be shown here. My table name, its field of this table is equal to employee ID of this table. And if you will go to view fields, you can see here by default for the primary table, the field will appear automatically. And you can also select the other fields by simply clicking on here. Just double click, select it, copy, and click on activate. Sign the package and then transport request. Okay. Now guys, just focus on this icon. Is this visible?
No.
It is in disable mode, right? So one more step here, that we cannot see the content of help view directly. Okay, we cannot see the content of help view directly. If you want to see the content of help view, you will have to use it in this word. When we will be using it inside the search help, then we will be able to see the content. When we will click on F4, then it will work perfectly fine. Okay, any doubt?
No.
That's good. So this was the concept of our database view, mainly the concept of views inside our GUI part. Okay, when we will go for our ABAP on HANA course, there we will be seeing a very important concept, CDS views. You might have heard it. Okay, there we will see it and we will understand it, why this much is so popular today and why these things started to obsolete slowly. Okay, now another topic for today is indexes. Do you know this index? What is an index? What is an index?
It can be the number of iterations through a loop, for example.
A
So for,
number of iteration for a loop.
yes, for example, how often a loop is being run, and then this system table index will increase this way by one every time it loops, right?
And what do you think, Mukul? What is an index?
No. I mean, it's just like the serial number or something, but I'm not sure what this is in this context.
Okay, serial number or something. So guys, just tell me one thing. Whenever you whenever we read any book, right? So there on the very first page of that particular book, there is a page and the title of that page is index, right?
Yes.
Index page is there, and on this particular page, every chapter, the page number is mentioned, right? Let's say from 101 to 106, chapter 1 is there, right? Like this one.
Mhm.
So if I just want to read a particular section of a particular chapter, I can directly refer these pages. And if this index is not mentioned for my book, will I able to ever read that particular chapter or particular topic without wasting my time? Now this is my question. My question is, let's say I have 1000 pages and on page number 786, a very special topic called in let's say ABAP programming is mentioned, and I want to read from there. So if I don't know where is this particular topic on the book, will I be able to directly refer this 786 page, or I will have to start from the first one? I will go to one by one, then I will found this topic, then I will read it. So it will take around, let's say, 4 to 5 hours. So these 4 to 5 hours are completely wasted now.
Yes.
But if we have index, I will not waste my 4 to 5 hours. I will directly go to page 786 and I will read this topic and I will able to solve my problem, right? Now my
Yes.
question is, what is an index? Again question. What is an index?
In
Same
the
question.
in the context of databases, maybe I think there are index databases, right? Where they have such one or more of these indexes, and then a search is easier this way.
Search is easier. That is the good thing. Because of indexes, because of indexes, indexes, the efficiency of database increases, right? And search becomes easier. What do you think? Why we are using HANA database instead of some traditional database? Because it is more powerful and more effective, right? And we can get the data very easily. If I today if I say why you are using 5G network, why you are not using 2G or 3G network, will ever switch to 2G or 3G? No, nobody will go there. They are simply looking for something new. They want the things should be happening so fastly that they should not be wasting any time on other things, right? Search becomes easier. This is the concept of index, guys. Index is created to give high performance. Okay, index is created to give high performance. And when you have an index and when you write a select query, basically select query, we write select query to fetch the data from our databases. So when we write select query based on an index, then by default our performance will be increased because we are using the concept of indexes. We already know where my data is located. We already know where my data is located. I will not waste my time. My compiler, my SAP compiler will not waste my time to fetch the data. It will directly refer to that particular location where the data is stored and it will bring it and it will give it to me. Are you able to understand what I am telling here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this is the concept of index, guys. Index is created to give high performance. Let me just show it to you. So basically what you are going to see is there are two types of indexes in SAP, primary index and secondary index. Primary key will act as by default as the primary index. Whenever you mark a column as a primary key in your table, SAP automatically creates a by default primary index for it. Whenever you mark a column as a primary key in your table, SAP by default creates a primary key to it. So if I say that what will be the primary index of my employee table, can I say my employee ID, right? Is
Yes.
the primary key of my employee table or primary index of my employee table. So by default, what SAP is going to do, it will by default create a primary index for your primary key. So whenever you are going to fetch the data or search the data based on the primary key, by default your system efficiency will increase and you will be able to get the data faster. I hope this thing is clear.
Mhm.
Then we have secondary indexes. Secondary indexes are created by the developer, by us, based on the requirement. We will be creating our secondary indexes. Because let's say if I go to system, now I have got the S4HANA credentials. So let me open it. Uh, let's say I have my table employee one, and if I say that I have to fetch the data based on employee name, okay, based on employee name. So this time this guy is not the primary key, so there will be no index now. So if I want to fetch the data or if my customer want me to fetch this data based on this column, what I will have to do? I will have to create an index for it, right?
Yes.
I will have to create an index for it now. So I will have to create an index for it and definitely I can create an index for it. And if once I create the secondary index and if I will use this secondary index to fetch the data, by default, my performance will be increased. Okay. Any doubt?
Mhm.
No doubt.
Okay. Now, if index, there are certain advantage of index, there will be certain disadvantage also, right? For anything, there are certain advantages and then disadvantage also. What do you think, guys? What could be the disadvantage of this thing of the index?
I think this will always be, I mean, this will not be always updated. When there is new data coming in, uh, the index will also be will have to be updated. And if it's not, maybe then it cannot fetch the data.
Uh, See, the situation here is SAP is by default creating the index, okay, whenever we are marking any column. So if you are passing any record, so by default the data will be in sorted order and you will be able to fetch the data. If I store their data like this way, okay, like this way, let's say 5, I'm not storing 7, 8, 9, 9 and 10. So if someday a guy is coming with value 6, so if SAP has simply marked this primary key and it has marked it as a primary index, by default data will be sorted. So 6 will be automatically stored here. So
Mhm.
will it be any problem?
No.
And I know now if I have to find the data, my compiler knows this ninth place is there for number 9. I will go there and find the data. Okay.
Mhm.
So this cannot be the disadvantage. One more advantage, I simply missed it. Index, whenever you create any index, index by default stores the data in sorted order. Okay, in sorted order. Index by default stores the data in sorted order. Whenever you create any index, index by default stores the data in sorted order. So sorted order, let's say this, if this data is like stored in this format 1, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3 or 7, then 9, 8, which one is easier to find? Obviously the first one, right? I will be able to easily find the data in the sorted order, right?
Yes.
So index by default stores the data in sorted order and we will be able to easily find the data here. Now what is the disadvantage? The simple disadvantage of this thing is that whenever you create any index, index always will always occupy occupy a space on the database layer. Okay, this is a disadvantage for this thing. This guy will always occupy and it will always take a space on the database layer. Always, and I mean it, always. Whenever you create any index, it will always take certain space. I know this is not a very big disadvantage if we compare with our HANA database. HANA database is very powerful and it is very big in nature. Hundreds and thousands of gigabyte are there. So we can expect to store any number of data, but the situation here is this is a little bit disadvantage for an index. It will always occupy certain space. Okay. Now let's create our index for this table. Let's say I want to create a index. So where I will go? What do you think? Where should I go? Where should
I
I
see
go,
11.
guys? Is there any radio button for creating any index?
Maybe it's a data type.
Okay, let's see if it is here or not. If I go for it, is there any? Okay, let me write one more stuff. Index is a table property. Okay, it is defined inside the table. Inside the table. Go for the table in change mode. See here, we have a separate tab called indexes. Okay, simply click on it and when you will go, we can see no indexes found for table. There are no indexes created at this moment. No secondary indexes has been created. If you want, you can create it. See here, we have a button called create. Click on create index and you can see here we have got the pop-up and we can give our index name. Again, one topic here. By default, index, the name of length of a index, or say length of a index is always 3 character long. Okay, always 3 character long. You can only give a index here 3 character long. So if you want, just give any name. I am simply entering employee name. Okay. Any name you can give here. Nobody is going to question you. Totally up to you. And if your customer is giving a particular name, please pass that name only. Click on OK button. And here, as usual, give a short description. So let's say index for my employee table. Employee table. Okay. And currently you can see its status. Index does not exist in database system HDB. HDB means HANA database. So index does not exist currently in my database because I have not activated it yet. Okay, I have not activated it. Once I will activate it, index will simply exist in my database. Okay. Now guys, simply click on this table fields and you can select as many fields as you want for this particular index. Okay. I want, let's say, employee name and department. I will press enter and I will simply click on activate button and see the magic. Object saved and activated. Index exists in database system HDB. Okay, is this thing clear? So how your index is going to store over the database layer? Can you say your index stores like this way? Table name, tilde operator and index name, right? Like this way. Why so much
So
silence?
what
Mhm.
is that? That is the
This
how
one.
it's displayed. Yeah.
This one is called tilde operator.
Hmm.
This is how your index is going to be stored. This is
Ah,
what my
okay.
system is telling. This is how our
Understand.
index is
Hmm.
stored, and it is now existing in HTTP. So if you want, you can simply use it. Now, if you whenever you will fetch the data based on the index, by default your efficiency will increase. See, these things we cannot notice by our naked eyes because these things work very fastly, right? Things work like in millisecond or microseconds. But for overall optimization and overall efficiency, whatever the testers have found out, we are simply trying to understand and relate it how we, if we are using this thing, how it is going to be beneficial for us, right? So this is how we can create our indexes. Any doubt if you have, please ask me.
No.
None?
No.
Um, I'm just not really sure what the index does. For example, when you add those two fields, employee name and department, what's the benefit or why we are doing this really?
See this message. Multiple fields for standard index only. See the situation here is if you want to apply indexes over multiple fields, for these multiple fields your index will be created. Okay. And whenever you will go to find the data based on this one or this one,
Mhm.
let me just tell one thing. When we created our project details table, right? Did we mark multiple primary key here? We marked, na?
Yes, the client and employee.
So the definition of your primary index was ACP is by default going to create a primary index based on the primary key. So how do you think this was created now? Multiple
Ah, okay.
columns. You can
Hmm.
use the same thing in concept of your secondary index. Okay.
I understand now. Hmm.
All right. What about you? Any other doubt, Mukul?
No. So this is only to increase the efficiency of the
Yeah,
database. And
definitely. This is the definition. See here, this is the very basic chapter. And as for technical consultant is concerned, we are required to understand how the system flows on. Okay.
okay, and so I mean, setting this up will improve only the database, and this is not for the user.
For the user, no, no, no. It is for the efficiency of the system. What do you
Okay.
think? Whatever we are doing, is there any benefit for user? We are simply why we are doing anything here so that our efficiency can be increased. If I am writing any logic, and if
Mhm.
others are writing the same logic, if the time taking to get the output is same for both, right? Which will be
Mhm.
considered? None. And if your code is more efficient than other ones, definitely your code will be considered at the first time, right?
So this is it, I mean, once we set up the index, is it viewed or can we view it differently in the F4 help or?
No, 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 no. Index is not for F4 help. Did I ever told you that index is there for F4 help? No, no. It is only to give
Okay,
you high
sorry, I was
performance. Okay.
the help view. Sorry, I think I was relating to help view.
So that is the next topic, third one for today. Search helps. Okay.
Okay.
Just have a little bit patience. We are going to explore out everything. Okay.
So what was this help view? Sorry.
Help view. The term itself is suggesting here. It is going to help in certain thing. I will just explain you after like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Just
Okay.
give me 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Now this search help is there, guys. What is search help? Define, please.
For the F4 button, so that you can see some suggested entries that will help you to see what options
Or
you
to
have.
perform certain options, right? Or to perform
Mhm.
certain action. That is, let's say when we create any table and when we saw our technical setting at that time, there was a, when we clicked on F4 help, a lot of data come, a lot of values came here, so that we were able to understand what kind of data is suitable for our requirement, right?
Mhm.
So this is the main reason for our search help, is known as also known as F4 helps, okay? Or some people also call it value help. Now its definition is pretty clear. What is the use of it? Simple use it. The purpose of search help is to display the various possible values for input fields. Okay, to display the
Mhm.
various possible values for the input fields. Is this thing clear?
Mhm.
Yes.
So what you are going to see, we have got two kinds of search helps. Let me just show you. We have got two kinds of search helps: elementary and collective search help. Elementary search help is also called as single search help. Like whenever you create a single search help, that guy is called as elementary search help. And when we use multiple elementary search helps to create a single search help, that particular thing is called as collective search help. Okay. Like when you are going to combine multiple elementary search helps to create another search help, that will be called as collective search help. Okay. So using this collective search help, you will be able to get the data of multiple search helps, multiple elementary search helps. Okay.
Mhm.
A little bit confusing.
A
Well,
bit,
we
yeah.
will see it. Yeah, we will find it out. Let's create our search help. Let's say I have this my employee table. Let me just open it. This is my employee table. Okay.
Mhm.
Now when I'm clicking on this contents button, I want a search help should appear here. Okay. So that when I click on this search help, I should be able to get the data. I want to see the data here. Okay. Is the
Yes.
requirement clear?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So let's create our search help. How we are going to do it? By default, we will go to SE11 and we can see we have a radio button here. We will select it, start with a name. Let's say search, Z search help 1, 8 to 10. Okay. Go for create button, elementary search help. See here, we have got two one, elementary and collective. I will go for the first one, elementary search help. I will click on OK button and I will provide here a short description. Elementary search help 1. Now this was section data collection. Data collection is there, and this very important first field selection method. Guys, click on this F for help. What is the pop-up we are getting? Database tables, search for views, and search for CDS entities. So in this selection method, we will define the data source from which we are going to fetch the records. If you are using this search help, this guy will be bringing some data from a certain place, right? Right now. So either that place can be a table or that place can be a view. Here we use the concept of help view, okay, to bring the data. Are you able to understand a little bit why we needed help view? If you want to see the data, you can use help. You can use this the concept of help view here, or you can use database table also. CDS is a very different stuff, and we will discuss it later on. For now, these two things are important for us. Okay. So we will simply pass our table name here. Simply pass the table name. Let's say emp table. Press enter. Now see here, guys. Dialog type. If you will click on this dialog, you can see three options are there. Display values immediately. Dialog depends on set of values, and dialog with value restriction. Three important options. Let me just explain it. Oh yeah. So display value immediately. The use of this one is whenever you click on F for help, all the data will be displayed on an immediate basis. All the data will be displayed on an immediate basis. Okay, immediate basis. If you will go for this one, dialog with value restriction, then whenever you will click on the F for help, all the data will not come on an immediate basis, but a pop-up screen will come where you can filter the data that you want to see. Okay. And then we have this one, third one. So this is the combination of both the two. That is the combination of display value immediately and display with value restriction. That is, if your table has more than 100 data, if your table has more than 100 data and you have selected this particular option, then it will behave like display with value restriction. Okay. And whenever you will click on F for help, the always a pop-up screen will come to filter the records. We will see in just couple of minutes. For now, just theoretical part. Okay. Any confusion in this one?
No.
No.
All right, let's select the display values immediately. Now we will go here in the search help parameter and you can select your fields that you want to see in the search help. Whatever table or source that you have given inside the selection method, by default, all the fields will come here whenever you will click on F4 and you can select all the field that you want. Simply select it, all the fields that you want to see in the search help. I want to see the employee ID and employee name, so I am simply selecting two fields. Okay. Now mark the importing and exporting. I will explain this LPOs and SPOs with just later in 10 minutes. For now, just simply write it. Let's say 112 for this one and 2 also. Simply click on activate. Pass the package here. Let me just see what is the package I've created. And click on activate button. So my search help is ready. Now let's see how it is going to work. Let's see how it is going to work. Here we have selected display values immediately, right? Here we have selected display values immediately. So let's see how this thing is going to work. Simply copy the name of your search help. Okay. Copy it and go to your table. Go to your table here. Go to your table. Open it in change mode. Now select the field over you want to apply the search help. I told you we want to see a search help over the employee ID, right? Over the employee ID here.
Mhm.
So what I will do here is I will simply select this employee ID. And you can see here we have a icon, search help. I will click on it. I will paste my search help name, click on OK button. By default, all the parameters will come that we have selected there. All the search help parameter will come. Click on copy and click on activate. Object saved and activated. Now let's find it out. See here. Is this icon coming now? Right?
Mhm.
And whenever you will click on this icon, you are going to get the data of these two columns that you have passed over here in the search help parameter. Okay. This is how
Understood.
guys you are going to get the data. Now see the magic here. I will simply click on this cancel button and let's select here display with value restriction. Activate it and now click on this one. A pop-up screen is coming of restriction. So if you want to only see let's say 102 records, click on OK. Only 102 record will come. And if you will not give any input, if you will not give any input, all the records will come.
Uh, this is very nice to know because I've seen both variants in the past on our company system, and now I know why there are two different search settings. Yeah,
Yeah. So
this is
this is
very
how a
useful.
search help is created and you can use any of the features that you want. Now this L position and S position, a lot of feature is there. Let me explain one by one. First, default value. Okay. Default value is there. What do you think the meaning of default value is?
It will be a standard value inside it. I
Uh,
mean, it will be already pre-filled with this default value, right? Or
okay. Guys, default values are used to give a default input for a search help parameter. Okay. If you want to, let's say, give here 101 employee ID. I just want to give a default value 101. I will simply give it here.
Mhm.
Now I will click on activate button. Let's see how it is working or not. Object saved and activated. And let's find it out. Am I getting any data here? Any data here? Any default value 101 data passed? Is it coming here? Is it coming
No.
here? No, na. Now, what is the reason for it? The reason is simple. If you want to pass any default values, just one important step, never ever mark this importing. Otherwise, whatever data that you are sending from here on, it will never come. Now activate it and let's check is it working or not. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
This is how these things works on. These are the various steps and we are just required to follow on. We will be able to achieve everything. Another stuff. SDI. Let's see this one. SDI. Okay. SDI. Selection display, right? This guy is used to mark any field or change any field into read mode. That is, let's say I've given a default value here and I don't want my user to change it. If you are seeing here, I'm able to change this one, right? I'm able to change this one, right?
Hmm.
But I don't want any other users to change it. So you can simply mark this one, checkbox, activate it and simply click on F4. See here, it is completely in read mode. I cannot change it.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
this property is used to change your search help parameter into read mode. Okay.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Another one, modified indicator. See this one, modified indicator. Let me just increase it. Modified indicator. Just see how it is working. Click on this. this particular field change to change mode, right? So if you want to change the data elements of the search help parameter that are appearing inside the search help, if you don't want them to be default that is there inside your table, you can change it from here. Okay, this property is allowed. Is this thing clear? We can change the data element of the search help parameter that is going to be appear inside the search help. If we want to change it, we are required to select this modified checkbox, and we can pass our own data elements if we want. Okay.
So this could be, for example, used maybe if we set up ZAR emp ID 01, and in that we restrict the values to maybe 101, 102. So you can use that in that case.
Definitely, totally up to you. See, you are not going to see these things mostly using, but these are the property of the system. You can use it if you want. You can practice it as many time as you want. That's my job to tell you that these things are there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now here, what do you think this L pose and S pose is going to do? List position and screen position. What could be the job of these things? List position and screen position. What could
Maybe
be the job?
the order of where it shows up on the screen.
Yes, that is the thing I was looking for. Guys, see here. What is the list position, or let's say what is the screen position of employee ID? 1, right? What is the screen position of employee name? 2, right? Now when you are clicking on F4 help, you are clicking on F4 help, and when this restriction pop-up is coming, what is the screen position here? Employee ID 1, employee name 1. This particular is called S pose or screen position. Whatever the position that you are going to give here, in the same order your search help parameter will appear. Let's change it out, guys. Let's change it here. I'm simply passing now 2 and 1 and see how these things will change. Now go there again, click on F4 help and see employee name at the first position, employee ID at the second position.
Mhm.
This thing is called as screen position. Okay, again now let's back it to normal. Now this list position, so whenever data, whenever you get the data, that data is there in form of list position. If you want to see here, let's active this search help, go back, click on OK button, and see here at the first position your employee ID is coming, at the second position your employee name is coming. These things are called as list position. If you want to change them from here, you can simply change it to 1, click on activate. Now go for back button and simply click on F for help, click on OK, and see employee name will appear at the first and employee ID will appear at the second.
Mhm.
Any doubt?
No.
No.
See, we have got a lot of properties, right? And these things comes after working for certain period of time. I'm not expecting you to master everything within a single class, but it will be my suggestion, just work on it, try to learn as much as possible, try to invest as much time as you are getting. Okay, then and only then you will be able to become a good developer. Learning things should always be there. Try to learn things slowly and gradually, you can become a very good developer. Any other thing? Let's change it to immediately. Activate it. Any other question, please?
No. No
Is
question.
there, sorry, just one question.
Yeah,
Could you please, yeah, could you please click on that button again for the
yeah,
help?
this one.
Oh, it doesn't show the search screen.
Yeah, I've simply changed to display values
Okay.
immediately.
So there it shows maximum value is 500. And so is it also possible to change these settings?
Let me just show you again. If you click on F for help, right? If you
Maximum
want
number
to
of layers.
change it, let's say 1000.
Or maybe if you want to set it as default and not allow the user to change, is that also possible?
Or see here, certain things are given by SAP. I don't think we need to learn every property. These things are just there to give us F4 help. Can you please tell me how many times we are going to do research on search helps in the current market? No need of it. But for creation purpose, you need to know. You can try it on your own. In my career, I have never seen this thing. Okay, nobody asked me this so till now.
Mhm.
If you want, you can change it. There might be certain property. If any button is there, there is always certain property. Okay. Any other question?
No.
All right. So guys, this is how we are going to create our elementary search help. Now let's find it out how we'll create our collective one. Go back, create another elementary search help. Let's say I will make a copy for it to 2. Just copy this one so that we will have a multiple search help and we will be able to create. Now go for change and let's mark it at 2. Dialog with values immediately. Activate it. Now we have got 2 search help, right? So now we can create our collective. Just go here 8 to 10, 8 to 10, collective, click on create. This time collective search help. Okay, collective search help, collective search help, help. Go for included and you can pass the name of your search help, guys. You can simply pass it here. Let me just bring it back. A1. You can pass here as many search helps as you want. Okay, this is the combination of multiple elementary search helps. Activate it, and the difference only be that you will be able to see the content of both the search helps together. You see here, you will be able to see the content of both the search helps together. Okay, two tabs will appear now. Two tabs will appear, and you will be able to see the content of both the search helps. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, Mukul.
Mhm.
Yeah, got it.
All right. Any other thing? So this is how we can create our search helps. Now, one you more use it, you can use it inside the program. So in the second chapter, will be discussing the program. That thing will be making more sense there. For now, just create a program and let me see. Let's see how we can create a search help for the input fields there. Do you guys know the transaction code to create a program? Anybody? What is the transaction code to create a program? So I have explained it in the very first session. What is the T code to create a program, buddy? Tell me, please.
For SA 83,
AC83. You are
or was
just
it
mixing
SE
it.
38?
AC38. Okay,
Yes,
you are just
it
mixing it.
happens.
All right. Yeah, yeah. It can happen. A lot of T codes are there. You cannot remember everything. Let's go for it. Create our program. Let's say I'm just writing a simple program. Say test only. Create. Just don't focus on these things. I just want to show how I'm using search help here. Okay. We will discuss these things one by one when we will go there. Pass here executable. Now, guys, we take input from the users using parameters keyword. Okay. parameters keyword, and let me just create a parameter, type my data element. And when you want to match, just see here, when I will activate this program and when I will go for execute button, just wait a second, activate it, go for execute button. You can see here this input screen is coming and there is no F for help, right? There is no F for help. So if you want to combine this thing with any search help, what you can do here is you can use a syntax match code object and you can simply copy and paste the name of your search help here. Okay, simply copy and paste it. So how this thing is going to work? Now this search help will be matched with this parameter, and when you will click on activate button and when you will go for input screen again, you will be able to see this thing, right? Is this thing
Mhm.
okay? So this is how we use any search help inside program for providing a search help for the user when they are going to give a particular input from the input screen to the particular program. So programming part is a separate chapter and I will say the biggest chapter of this course. But for now, this was the thing I wanted to show you how we use it. Okay, so I simply used it. Any doubt?
No.
Okay. So this is the concept of search help. If there is no doubt, let's move to another topic. Buffering. What do you think, guys? What is a buffer? What is a buffer? Very important question. What is a buffer?
To
And
put data to put
what?
data in a
Yeah,
temporary
very good,
space,
very
right?
good. Put data in a temporary space. Why?
For example, instead of loading the whole table, you can load a buffer of it. So that means just the next part that you need, the next 500 entries, for
Instead of
example.
loading all the data, we can load, right? Just please tell me again. We can
You
load
can load for example, the next 500 entries that you need.
500 entries that I need. But still, I will have to load those entries from the database, right?
Mhm.
So what is the use of this temporary storage if I will have to load every time the data if I'm looking for? What do you think, Mukul? What is a buffer here? I'm not asking you to explain this technically. Just try to relate this thing with your real life. What could
I
be a
think this
buffer?
is the process of retrieving data from the database.
Process of retrieving data, fetching data. Okay, okay, but fetching data. See, the situation here is we have three layers, right? Presentation, application, and database, right?
Mhm.
Presentation, application, and database. Application and database layer. So my data is all the data resides inside the database layer. This is not a difficult question. Everybody know it. So currently we are working over here, right? We are working on the application layer. So whenever I need data, I will have to go to database every time and I will bring the data over the application layer to perform all the changes that I want to do over my application layer, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Simple definition, guys. Buffer. Buffer is a temporary space over the application layer. Okay, over the application layer, right? Temporary space over the application layer. Now, why do we need this temporary space? Why do we need this temporary space? The reason here is sometimes we need to access a particular set of records more frequently, more frequently, frequently. Okay. So instead of hitting database every time, because I know that I am going to fetch these records every day on a daily basis. So instead of hitting the database on a regular manner, what I can do is I can simply bring this set of records and I can simply store the here on the application layer on a temporary basis, so that I know now I know that I need this data regularly. I need this data regularly. So what I'm doing here, I will simply store them temporarily over the application layer. So now whenever I need to fetch the data, I will not go to database layer. I will simply go to my temporary storage, which is buffer, and I will simply use this data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So here the concept of buffer comes into this picture. So instead of frequently accessing the data over the database layer on a regular manner, what we can do, we can simply place this frequently accessed data in a buffer from which they can be accessed easily. So overall, buffer improves the performance when accessing data records contained in the table, right or not?
Right.
Mhm.
Guys, only thing that we are discussing from the very first from very first lecture is how we can improve our performance, right? Now, this is the only feature that we are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the buffer coming into the picture, we are no longer required to hit the database on a regular manner. What we can do is we can simply bring the data from the database and we can store here on the application layer, and we can use it. Now the question here is, where is my buffer? Where is the buffer where is the buffer options available? Any suggestion? Please tell me. Where is the buffer options available? How we can use it? Now I know the benefit of this. Now I know the benefit of this buffer, that I can simply bring the data and I can store it over the application layer. But from where I can create buffer and where I can access it? This is the question now.
Maybe
Any
with a buffer keyword within the ABAP editor.
ABAP editor. Tell me one thing, Alan. You are telling me to go to ABAP editor, but my question is, I am discussing about my tables, right? My data is there inside the tables. Did I
Okay.
ask any question related to ABAP editor from the first
No,
lecture
no,
till now? No questions
no, no.
now. That is a
Uh,
separate
so,
chapter.
so I think in the data dictionary there must be an option.
Yes, that is good answer, but let's say that is the your whatever answer you are giving me, it is a superset. I need the particular answer.
Inside the technical settings of the table.
Yes, technical setting. This is the answer I was looking for. Guys, I told you whenever we are working with the location part, technical setting comes into the picture, and my buffering options is available in technical setting of any table. Okay, now just go to our technical setting and let's find it out. Go for our log into the system again. Go to table from S11. Open the table in change mode. Go to technical setting and see it. Just below, scroll a little bit. Buffering options and buffering type. Three options are here, right? Buffering not allowed. So we have got three options here, guys. We have got three options. Buffering options. The very first one is buffering not allowed. Buffering not allowed. What is the meaning of it? What is the current setting of my table? Buffering not allowed, right? This is my current setting. This radio button has been selected now. So buffering not
Mhm.
allowed is the current setting here. It simply means It simply means table buffering is not performed for the table. Okay, table buffering is not performed for the table. Is this thing clear?
Mhm.
Yes.
Another second one. Let's see if the what will be the second one. Second one is buffering activated. Simple. Buffering activated. Table buffering will be performed, okay, for the table. And we have the last one, which is third one. Buffering allowed but switched off currently. So buffering is allowed, but for now it is switched off, but it can be switched on at any time according to the requirement. Okay, it can be switched on at any time according to the requirement. So now if you will select for buffering activated, you will have to select any buffering type. You can see here single record buffered, generic area buffered and fully buffered. How many types of buffering are there? Three types: single record buffer, generic area buffer and fully buffered. Is this thing clear?
Yes.
Let me just show it to you how the single record buffering works. Where is it? Yeah, this one. In case of single record buffering, single records loads into the buffer at a time. At a time, only single record, that is a single row, will be loaded into the buffer at a time. Now, when we will be using this particular thing, so whenever you are going to fetch a record, whenever you are going to fetch a record using the primary key, what do you think? Whenever we will use the primary key or complete key, primary key or complete key, I will get a single output every time, right? Because primary key is there to define my records uniquely. So if I am using the complete primary key, I will always get a single record. Okay.
Mhm.
So whenever we use complete key to fetch our records, then we use the concept of single record buffering. This is most preferred at that particular moment. And what is the advantage of single record buffering? This type of buffering will take less memory over the application layer, because at a time we are only loading a single record at the buffer. We are only loading a single record at the buffer. At a time we will only load a single record at the buffer, and only a single record will be stored on the temporary storage over the application layer. So that is why it is going to take very less amount of memory. And again, the disadvantage, let's say I have got 1 million record inside my table. So at a time only I am storing a single record inside the application layer. So whenever I will go for the next record, again I will have to hit the database and I will bring the data and I will store it over the application layer. So there is no significant reduction in number of database accesses, because we are only storing a single record inside the buffer, right? Is this thing confusing?
It was a bit
So
fast
much
for me.
silence.
I
Okay,
was still
just
trying to
just let me
process.
explain. Let me just explain it in this way. Okay. Single record buffering. Okay. Single record buffering. What I'm saying here is, let's say I have one row 101. I have just this way 101. Then I have another row. Rest of the columns are also there. But for our example, let's say I have another row, third 103, 104, 105. Say, let's say when I am writing a query, find 101 row. Okay. So this row will be brought from the database, and it will be stored over the application layer, right? It will be stored over the application layer. Okay,
Mhm.
is this thing clear? Okay, na?
Mhm.
Yes.
Because we are using single record buffering. So the benefit of this single record buffering is at a time only I am storing a single record, so definitely it is not going to take very large amount of space over the application layer, right? Now just say here, I this time I am going for 102 record. Okay. So this record is not stored inside the buffer. So I will have to go to database again, right? I will have to go to database and I will bring the data and I will store inside the application layer, right? So much silence. Are you guys tired?
No.
I'm just trying to
My
process it. It's a
okay,
bit
okay.
hard.
Let's try it again. What I am saying is, I am using the concept of single record buffering. So let's say I write a select query to fetch the 101 row. Okay, 101
Yes.
row. Since I am using this single record buffering and I went for 101 row, so this 101 row was brought from the database layer and
Hmm.
it was stored on the application layer. Okay, inside the buffer. Now every time whenever I will go for 101 record, I no longer need to go to database layer because my 101 record is there inside the buffer. I will simply go to into the buffer and I will use it. I no longer need to go
Hmm.
to database layer. But now let's say I'm going for 102 records. Okay. Is this 102 records stored inside the application layer? No, na?
No, because it only takes the single record, right? The
Because
101.
at a time, no, I am not telling that it only store the single record only, but at a time, at once it will only bring a single record from database. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
So if I will go for 102, this time I will have to go to database layer and I will bring it and I will store it on the application layer. Now my application layer contains 101 and 102 records. Okay. So if I will
Okay.
fetch the 101 record, I can simply go to my what is this called? Yeah, buffer. Buffer and I will bring
Hmm.
it and I will use it. If I'll go for 102, I will go to buffer and I will use it. Now again, if I am going for 103, is this 103 over the application layer? No, na.
It first needs to be fetched, yeah.
Again, it will be. So can I say there is significant reduction in number of database accesses? No, because I have, let's say, a million record inside the table. So can you say that you are only going to play with 101 or 102 records? Can you guarantee it? No, na?
No.
Definitely. So there will be no significant reduction in number of database access. Now is this thing clear?
Yes, thank you.
Mhm. So,
Okay.
just one question. So when it fetches one record, it saves it, and when it has to fetch the other one, the first one is already saved. I mean, it's also saved, or it gets
Yeah, it
deleted.
at a time, see the word here. At a time, it loads only a single record, but it doesn't mean that the previous records has been deleted.
Okay.
It is also there. At a time, you will
Okay.
be only able to load a single record, a single row, but the previous record will also be there.
Okay.
But we are talking about the tables now. In our SAP tables, you can expect a million record.
Hmm.
So for a million record, can you say this one record matters? No, na. We will have to again go for a database access. And these things are just temporary storage, not a permanent. Only my database is permanent storage. Okay.
Hmm. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Let's again open my system. Go to OS11 and open the table in change mode. Go to technical setting. For now, buffering not allowed. So where can I see the content of buffer? Another question. Where can I see? Where can I see the contents of buffer? The simple answer here is, guys, you can go to AL. You can go to AL12 transaction code, AL12 transaction code. Okay, transaction code
Mhm.
to see the contents of your buffer. Go, let's go to here, guys. Just check it out. Go to AL12. Buffer monitor for your S4HANA server. See here, monitor, buffer, table buffer, and you can click on this single object display. Pass the table name. Pass the table name here. Copy the table and simply pass it here and click on OK button. Is anything here? Are you able to see anything here? Is this
Maybe
thing
you need
empty?
to refresh it first, or
No, 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 no. I have not selected any buffering.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you want to see the content, let's activate it and select single record for now. Click on activate. Buffering has been activated. So now if we will load the data, we will be able to see the content. How we will load the data? How do you think we are going to load the data? What is the easiest way to load the data? Write a query, right? Write a program for it.
No,
Mhm.
the okay. Yeah. I was thinking,
We will use
is
a
it also
program, the
possible?
concept.
Is it
No, no,
also
no, no. We
possible
are
with table display?
no, 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 no. We will use the concept of program. See here, this program, I will explain how we will write program, everything. For now, I just want to show you the buffers. Okay. I just want to show you that this thing is there in my SAP system. If anybody is going to ask you, or maybe sometime you feel like let's go and research on these things, you will be able to easily understand that. Okay. For now, just see how we are going to load up something here. Just please do not ask question about the programs, okay? Because this is a separate chapter. We will see it in detail. If I will explain it now, you will not be able to digest it. I am just writing certain logic. I just want to show you how this thing is going to work, okay? You might have seen this thing. Anyone?
Yes.
Where you
Mhm.
guys have seen this? What I'm writing?
You are
Mm.
making an internal table? No, sorry,
That's
structure.
good. That's good. That's good. Yes, I'm simply creating a structure. Let's create internal table. Just one thing is important. Parameters. P employee ID. And let's say I'm writing a query. Simple query. From my table name into table. Internal table. All right. There is no issue in it. Okay. Guys, whenever you want to see the content of your buffer, what you can do is here we have buffer content. And now simply pass the table name and click on continue. This thing is completely empty, right? You can see all the columns of your table, right?
Mhm.
Now let's execute this code. Let's execute this code. I just want to see 101 record. I will click on execute button and see here, refresh, buffered content. My 101 record has loaded into the buffer. Now if you will go for 101 record again, just refresh it. Is this data being deleted? No, na. Now your data is there inside the buffer. Your system will not go to database. They will simply come here and they will ask, hey buffer, please share this data to me so that I can use it, right? Now if you will go for 102, just see here how it is going to work. 102, refresh it. Is your first record deleted? No,
No.
no.
No, still not.
Your first record has not been deleted because at a time we are able to only load a particular record into the system. At a time, only a particular record, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So this is how your single record buffering works. Now, if you will go for sorry, fully record buffering, let me just show you. If you will go for this guy, let's say fully record activated, and now if you will refresh it, one more important stuff. Whenever you are changing any buffering property, by default your buffer data will be refreshed. Okay,
Mhm.
always. Always your by default buffer data will be refreshed whenever you will change it. All the contents of the buffer will be removed. You will not see any content. Okay. So just try to understand these things. Whenever you are going to simply change any property inside the buffering setting, by default your buffer data will be erased. Now you will have to load it. Since we have selected this time fully record buffer, click on execute button and see the magic. Nothing is coming again. Yeah, all the data are loaded, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So this is your fully record buffer. See here, we are simply trying to fetch 102 employee ID right now, 102 records.
Yes.
But still all the data was loaded inside the buffer because of your fully record buffering type. Because of your fully record buffering type, all the data from your buffer was directly loaded and they were stored inside the buffer. Now, what do you think the disadvantage of this fully record buffer can be?
It can be rather slow if there are a lot of entries, no? Like it can
What
take a
can be
long time
slow?
to I mean, it can take a long time to load it from the database layer to the application layer, right?
Okay, it can take a lot time. Okay, a lot of time. That it can be answer. But can you say this that is your application layer memory is or is your application layer have any store for it? No, na. It is just storing temporarily a little bit, right? So if you are bringing a lot of data, can you say it will impact the efficiency of system? Because we
If
are
the
simply storing thousand millions of data directly over our application layer is not for the storage purpose, na. It is there for only for logical purpose, right? Or we are a technical developers, we are going to write a lots of tons of codes over here, so this guy is only responsible for logical purpose. So there is no meaning of directly storing millions of data over here, so definitely performance will be decreased now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This can be a disadvantage. And what can be the advantage for it? We no longer need to go to database layer. All the data is there over the application layer, right?
Yes.
So this is very beautiful concept of buffering. Okay. Buffering, very important.
Amrit, but this buffer, I,
Mm.
I can imagine, am I right to understand it this way that it's still stored in the database layer, right? Content?
Uh, Please repeat it again.
This buffer that we load from the database layer. So this, we can
See,
imagine that
oh,
it
one, I
exists.
understand your question. Whenever you are bringing data from your database layer to application layer, that does not means that your data is not over there. You are simply bringing a copy of it. Unless and until you are performing any commit over here, any changes over here, it will not reflect inside the database layer. Okay. Whenever we
Yes.
go for commit options, then it change, the final changes are saved over the database layer. Bringing something, if I am saying that I am bringing something from here to here, it doesn't mean that I am simply cutting from here and pasting over here. Okay,
Hmm.
it never means that.
Okay.
Never means never. Okay,
Hmm. Yes, thank you.
what about you, Mukul?
Yeah,
Uh,
I understood this part, but what is the third type of buffering?
yeah,
Generic?
see, third one is for generic purpose. It's not like used mostly. It is only for language dependent tables. Okay, only theoretical part is there because I have never used it in my lifetime. I will just explain a little bit stuff of that. Let me just show you. It is there. Uh, where is this guy? Generic, fully record. Buffer. Yeah, generic area buffering. So see here, whenever you go for generic area, only those records that generic key that matches the generic key are loaded into the buffer. Generic area simply means like language dependent table. There is a very specific table SFS ICT which is for language dependent stuff. So these are only based on requirement purposes. Okay, you might be working on certain projects where you will get a requirement for generic area, then there you can work it. And again, this buffering is also a very old approach. I'm just explaining you that these things are there over the server. You should have the knowledge for it. But technology has changed a lot. Buffering is also now no longer is being used currently. Okay, any buffering. This is for generic area purpose. If you might working on this thing maybe, then you can go for this stuff. But as for theoretical part, I will say it is used for generic area like language dependent tables. You can see here we have got sci language system variable for language. Okay, is this sufficient or you want anything else also?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, Alan, what about you?
It's fine for me. Thanks.
Okay, see guys, this notes is more than sufficient. Okay, at the end of the course, let me just show you. At the end of the course, you will have like more than 1,000 pages of a book. Okay, if you combine them all, it will change to a more than 1,000 page of book. So it totally up to you how much you are going to store it inside your brain. So please try to focus on the thing that we are discussing and try to ask any question. I'm also here to learn something from you. You are here to learn something from me. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, guys, let's move on to our next chapter, which is, sorry, next topic, which is lock objects. Have you ever heard it? Lock
Yes.
object. What is a lock object?
For example, when a user is manipulating a table for a program, then a lock object can be created so that no other user can manipulate this table while the other user is still manipulating the data or having it open.
So, is lock object created by system or by user? This question now.
I think by system.
Okay, by system. So, can a user create a lock object? Now, again, another question. By system. You told me by system. So, can a user create a lock object now? What do you
Maybe
think?
it was the other way around. That the user makes it by. Uh,
Okay, just think on it.
mhm.
So you told me that lock object is there so that other users cannot perform any other changes while a single or let's say if I as a developer, if Amrit is performing certain changes over the employee table, neither Alan nor Mukul can change it, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I want to give a technical definition for it. What could be a proper definition for lock object? What is the purpose of lock object? The purpose of lock object, guys, is to achieve synchronization. You might have heard this terminology, synchronization. What is the meaning of synchronization? That anything should be working in a form of synchronization or it should be synchronized, right?
Yes.
So if we explain this in terms of our table or database object that we have created till now, the only simple meaning of it is if multiple users want to change the same data at the same time, then only at a time only one user will be able to change the data. This concept is called synchronization. Now why this synchronization is essential? Why do you think? My this question is now, why is this essential? What is the need of it? Need of it. Please think on it, guys. What is the need of it? What is the need of synchronization or what is the need of lock object? The answer was pretty clear that only Amrit should change the data. Neither Mukul nor Alan should be changing it. But the question is why? Why?
For data consistency and to prevent,
Yes.
for example, two people trying to access it at the same time, this is not gonna work. So that's why we need the lock
Let's
objects.
say I am changing the employee ID at the same time and Alan is changing the employee ID at the same time. Again, Mukul is also changing the employee ID at the same time. Will my ACP system able to understand whose data should be saved? No, na. My
No.
SAP will not be able to understand whose data should be saved. So data will become inconsistent. So to maintain consistency, okay, synchronization is crucial, and this synchronization is crucial. And to maintain synchronization, lock objects are there. Let me just show you guys. Let me just show you. Whenever you open anything in change mode, whenever you open anything in change mode, it can be a table, it can be SM30 for maintenance purpose. A lock object is applied by the system. A lock object is applied by the system. Now, once I have entered into this thing into change mode, no other user will be able to open this table in change mode. Okay. So if a lock has been applied, there will be a place where I will be able to see the log entries, right?
Yes, I think it was the transaction SM31, maybe.
There is a place where I can see log entries.
Yes, there is.
Please answer it.
Yes, yes,
What
there
is the
is.
place called?
It must be through a transaction. I think SM31,
31. Okay.
if I
Mukul?
remember correctly.
No, I'm not aware of this.
Guys, that T code is SM12. Okay.
12. Okay.
SM12 is there to see the log entries. Just go for it. SM12. Click on search button by your name. Click on search button and see here. A record is coming, right? User, which is the user? Amrit01. Where this has been applied? over this table. See here, table, employee table, right? What
Mhm.
is the mode here? What is the lock mode? X, right? Here we have a lock mode called X now.
Mhm.
I will explain each and every step. Just wait for a couple of seconds. So only recall as this particular row is coming here, right? Now if I will go to back button and let's just refresh this thing. Where is the refresh button? Go back and go for SM12 again. Click on the search. Can you see any entry here? Zero locks.
No.
No entry now. Again, I
Mhm.
will open this thing in change mode. Go for search. See one entry is coming. If I'll go and let's say I will open my SM30 and I will try to maintain my table, go for edit. Now click go for SM12 again, click on this search. Two entries are coming, right?
Mhm.
Because I have opened two things in change mode. That is why two locks I can see here. One in one lock mode is X and in the another one lock mode is E. So there should be some difference between them, right? There must be
Mhm.
some difference over here. Now, one question from my side, very interesting question. We are able to see certain entries over here. From where these entries are coming? Are they stored inside the database?
I think on the application layer.
Okay, on the application layer. But are they permanent storage? Because
No,
when I am
only.
simply changing in this thing into display mode, this lock entry is simply removed, right? So
Mhm.
this cannot be a permanent storage. This cannot be a permanent entry. Because any
Right.
user, whenever any user is going to open it, simply that this thing will be applied. Very important concept, guys. Just see here,
Mhm.
the records that you are going to see in the log entries, it always comes from NQ server. It always comes from NQ server. Okay.
Mhm.
Log in queue server is a particular place that has been created inside your application layer where your temporary data is stored of temporary log entries are stored. Okay, log entries are temporary entries and they never ever gets stored inside any database tables. It always
Mhm.
come from NQ server. Okay, NQ server.
Mhm.
Here we saw we have variety of lock modes, right? One was X, another was E. So how many types of locks are there? Guys, there are three lock modes: read lock, write lock, and enhanced write lock. Okay, read lock, write lock, enhanced write lock. Read lock is also called as shared lock and its default value is S. So whenever you are going to see any lock mode as S, just understand this, that read lock has been applied over that particular thing. Okay, read lock has been applied over that particular thing. Read lock has been applied. Then we have write lock. It is also called as exclusive lock and its default value is E. So whenever I am opening this thing in edit mode and you will go and refresh this thing, E value is there. So can you say this, that write lock has been applied over here?
Mhm.
And we have the last one, which is enhanced write lock, also known as exclusive lock without accumulation, and its default value is X. It is just a little bit advanced version of write lock. Okay. So
Mhm.
here you can see whenever you open any table in change mode, its default value is X, guys. Its default value is X, and it simply means that enhanced write lock has been applied. The only simple difference between the write lock and enhanced write lock is write lock can be requested several times from the same transaction code. It can be requested several times from the same transaction code, but enhanced write lock can be requested only once. only once from the same transaction code, and it cannot be processed successively. Theoretical
Mhm.
definition, guys. Theoretical definition has little bit difference, or you can say it is just a advanced version of right lock, or you can simply say it is more secure than right lock. Okay.
Yes.
Are you able to understand what is going on around here?
Mhm.
I can sense a lot of silence.
I have seen it. For example, the
Mugul?
law, the
Um, yeah, I get most of it,
Okay.
but the difference
What is your
between
doubt?
the difference between the enhanced law, enhanced right, and the normal right. What does it mean that only once during a transaction?
See, the situation here is we can create our own lock modes, okay, if you want. I will show you. So the here it can be requested several times from same transaction code. Like let's say there can be requirement in some complex project where you have applied a right lock. So right lock can be requested several times from same transaction code. Okay.
Mhm.
But this enhanced right lock is here. It is only say that your enhanced right lock can only be requested only once from a same transaction code. If you are using a particular transaction, you are calling this lock there, you can not call it again for enhanced right lock. This is very complex thing. When you might be implementing certain project there, you will be using it. Okay. For now, just take it as for theoretical.
Mhm. Okay.
Certain things take some time to digest. Okay, I will not say that just forcefully try to digest it. Otherwise, it will be messed up. Okay, give some time.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you guys, you can create your own lock modes. If you want to create it, you can create it. Just go to SE11. There is a very prerequisite for creation of lock modes. The prerequisite is, see here we have lock object, right? You can
Ah,
create
yes.
your own lock modes using this one. Okay,
Mhm.
using this radio button, you can create your own lock modes. But there is a prerequisite for it. Lock object's name always start with E. Okay, this is the prerequisite. The name of any lock object always starts with letter E. It is only for lock objects, not for other
Um,
ones.
um, Amrit, if I make a custom block object, does it have to start then with C or is it always E?
No, no, no. Its prerequisite will be E. After that, you will have to give a name G. After that,
Ah,
you will
okay, okay.
E will should be there for lock objects.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, E should be
But
there for lock objects.
if I don't do it, do
No,
I get a
then that will
warning?
not become a custom, na. Custom should always contain a Z value. This is the EZ. Just take it for lock object. You will go with EZ.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
EZ lock object. Let's say EZ lock object. Go for create. Provide the sock description lock object created by me. Okay, click on save. Assign the package. Now, if you will go here, you can see a table section is there, right?
Mhm.
Table section is there. And if you want to create any lock object for tables, simply pass your table name. Okay, simply pass your table name and press enter. And see here in the drop down, we can see a lot of lock modes. Okay, for the system purpose. But for the developers, we only are going to play with the three of them: shared, write, or exclusive. Okay,
Mhm.
these things are not for our use. Nobody is going to ask you anytime. Only for system purpose, we should know only these things. So let's say I'm applying right lock. Now I will click on save button. I will assign the package. I will activate it. And now when you will go to lock parameter, see here, two fields will always come. Can I say that these two are my primary key,
Mhm.
Yes.
right? So if I ask you a question, where lock object, on which columns your lock object is actually applied over the primary key of your table? What is the use of primary key? To identify a records uniquely. So if you want to change any records or already existing records, if your lock has been applied over the primary key, definitely no other user will be able to change it, right?
Mhm.
Now, just try to understand. If I have created this lock object, a custom lock object, where I will be using it? Now, this is my question. Where I will be using it?
In a program, and before you
Yes,
start manipulating the data, you can call this
yes.
object.
Before inside the program, but how am I going to use it? This is my question again. How am I going to use it? What do you think? How am I going to use it? Your answer is definitely correct. Inside the program, we are going to use the concept of lock object. But my question is how? How am I going to use lock objects inside the programs? Okay, how am I going to use it?
Maybe through a keyword within the editor.
Okay, this is good keyword. Guys, whenever a lock object is created or whenever a lock object is created, by default, system creates two function modules. Have you heard this word, function module,
Mhm.
ever?
Yes.
What is a function module?
It's a subroutine that's outside of your program that can be called.
Subroutine. What is the meaning of subroutine?
It's a program outside of your program. So you can feed it data and it will return some. It will perform some manipulation and then return it to
Okay,
your original program.
Alan, don't try to make it too complex. Okay, just try to relate it easily. Did we learn programming stuff yet? No, na, nothing, right? So I just want you to explain this word, function. It simply means that it is going to function something, right? There will be certain
Yes.
function of this thing. So what system is going to do whenever I will create any lock object, by default the SAP system, SAP server will create two function module, NQ lock and DQ lock. So as Mukul has answered that we are going to use this lock object inside the program. This NQ lock will be used to apply lock over our table, so that once I have applied the lock at that particular time, no other user, I mean it, no other user in any other system would be able to make any changes inside the system, inside the law, inside the table. Okay, because there is can be a possibility now when let's say I am executing my code and I am performing some change at the same time another guy has simply opened the table and started to play with it, right? To avoid that situation, this concept comes that when you apply your lock object, a already nqlock function module is there. We are directly going to call it. For now, just understand this a section of code. Okay, a logic, a logic. I am going to ask this guy, yes, hey brother, do something for me, and this guy is going to do for it, that particular task. Okay.
Mhm.
So I will use this enqueue lock. Once this lock has been applied, no other user will be able to play with the program. And once my task is done, I will use this another function module called dequeue lock created by system. I will simply call it inside the program to release the lock. Okay, to release the lock from the system. So that lock has been released now. Okay, let me show you guys how when we create our lock object. Again, log out. Just open the system. So whenever you create your table, whenever you create, sorry, lock object, what is the name of lock object? EZ lock object, right? Alan, can you tell me the transaction code for function module?
Um, I don't know it by heart,
Okay,
unfortunately.
no issue, no issue. We will see it now. SE37, guys. SE37 is the section. We will build our own a lot of function module. But for now, whenever we are creating any lock object now, system by default creates a NQ and DQ lock object. Just write here name NQ, followed by underscore and followed by the name of your lock object. Just paste it here, click on display mode and see it has been created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Request lock object NQ and DQ function. This is for NQ. In the import part, you can see here by default NQ mode or lock mode is E. Why is this E? Because here I have simply selected the right lock. If I will change it, let's say I'm changing it to exclusive, activate it again. Now if you will go back, click open it again in display mode, go to import bar. See here it has been changed to X. Okay, so this NQ function module is there. See here, by default certain logic has been written inside it. And when I will simply call this guy inside my program, because of this function module, lock would be applied over my table. Okay, and until and unless I am using its opposite one, which is DQ function module, DQ function module created by system, to release the lock from the table, nobody will be able to perform any changes. Is this thing clear?
Yes.
A little bit complex, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine.
That's good. If it is fine, then perfectly. If it is not, please try to ask it. I will try to answer it. Okay. So, is this sufficient or should we go for 5 to 10 minutes more?
It's fine
Mm,
for
I
me.
think I think I just have one question.
Yeah.
For the database technical settings below buffer, there was an option for log.
Okay. Let me check it out. Yeah. Change technical setting. Log.
Yeah, log changes.
Honestly answering, I've never used this property. Okay.
Mhm.
I've never used this thing. This buffering part is never necessary. Rest, I cannot expect. Have you ever tried to understand this thing?
No, this one I saw, but
Mm.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
What do you think this column store and row store is going to do? We have got the option for it. Let's open a table. Okay. Let's say I'm opening a standard table, a VBAK, and go to technical setting. Go for this DB specific property. Will I be able to change this thing now here? No, no. This is a standard table, right? But for my custom one, I have got the options to select any one of it, right? What do you think
Mhm.
this column store is going to do? And what do you think this row store is going to do? This is a very important, and we discuss these things in the first lecture of our ABAP on HANA concept. Okay, row store versus column store. You might would have heard it. Very beautiful concept. Row store versus column store. Earlier, when we were using the ECC system, every data we were using row store concept. Now we use the column store concept. Can you anyone explain me why? Why this VBAK table is using column store? Because this is a standard table, na? If SAP is using it, there must be certain reason, right?
Mhm.
So Mukul, I am giving you a task. Tomorrow I want you to explain it. Okay. Please try to find it.
Okay.
If you will find it, it is good. Otherwise, I will explain. Okay.
Okay.
And just one thing, guys. There are a bunch of everything there. I cannot answer every question. Honestly, a lot of thing is there. Because this is just 40 hours of training, I cannot expect me to answer why this thing is there, why this thing is there. Certain things you will have to find it from yourself also. I can show you a roadmap, how you can become a technical consultant. I can spoon feed you everything. You can see here from the very first lecture. I'm trying to, unless and until you guys are completely convinced, I'm not moving from there. Okay, but certain tasks you will have to do also. Okay,
Just one thing, because
yeah.
Mukul mentioned the log data entry, yeah, or log
No, no, no.
changes.
Log
Yes,
changes. I don't know why
exactly.
this is used.
I
Please find
I
it.
just I just looked it up actually because I was interested myself, and
Okay.
if this is active, then you can monitor what users performed changes to to the database in a way, and this is saved in the table CDHDR. So there you
Okay.
can
There is
monitor.
separate table for it. All
Yes,
right.
there will be
Which
some
table?
table for the CDHDR.
CDHDR, right? This one.
Yes,
Let's open
exactly.
it out. Change document header. Okay.
Okay, and CDPOS will be for change document positions. So CDPOS.
All right. This guy is standard table. Another one, CD.
CDPOS.
Okay, CD pause.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
All right.
So
So here we
there
gave
should
the change
be,
document items. That was for header one and it is for its item. Right.
so there in this table, there should be a value new and value old. Um,
If certain change is being performed by the user, this
mhm.
gets stored inside the log.
Yeah, that's what I just found.
Okay, let me check. No error, activate it. Now, if I will go here and change, how will I be able to access its content? What should I pass here?
Maybe you call this in this SE16 N, and then you put the table name, and I think initially it'll be empty because no log was activated.
Let's check
Okay.
it out. SS16 and oh, table name, right? Let's pass our table name here. No values.
Mhm.
So if we change certain content of it, right?
Mhm.
But
Okay, let's.
In the F1 help, there's also more explained within this field of the
If I'm
log
change
changes.
any
Mhm.
data. Now, if I'll again refresh this thing, nothing.
Oh, Amrit, can you open the transaction SCU3? Because there should be a list of existing logs from what I just
SCU3.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, inside it. All right, this guy has been changed from SAP ABAP to SAP ABAP development. Okay, so because of this log one, we are able to see it, right?
Mm.
Are you
Yes,
seeing this thing?
exactly. Mhm.
Let's change it and let's find it out if it is working or not. Something, go to S11. Now let's change back to change technical setting, activate it. Now if I'll go and let's make some change to SAP ABAP, save. What was the transaction code? This one,
SCU3. Yeah.
plus one SCU 3.
Mhm.
Analyze logs, table name, execute. None of the. Okay, okay. So we can perform the evaluation. Okay, whatever the data we are changing. Oh, that's good. See here, because of this checkbox, we can get the changes data via SCU3 transaction code, right? This is wonderful.
Amrit, just one last thing. Can you go back to the log changes checkbox, please?
Okay.
I just wanted to check, is it possible to open, because this is just a checkbox, can we perform F1 on it? The F1 help, maybe.
No, 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 no. Not this.
That's not
This is not a
possible.
field. F1 is for a
Okay.
field now. F1, F4 is for a field.
Mhm.
You cannot
I was
directly
just wondering
go for
if
the
we
check
can.
boxes. No,
Uh,
see the system. What the here system is doing, it is actually storing your temporary change data. Whatever data you are changing, it is storing there. You will be able
mhm.
to see, so that if later on certain guy is coming there, he will be able to see the content, that
Yeah.
what was the earlier data and what is the current data. Current data you can see it from the table, but what data has been changed, that is why it is storing here in SU3 transaction code. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful.
Mhm.
Anything else, guys?
No,
No,
I
from
think
my
that's
side.
it.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Lot of thing, a lot of new learning.